2 years ago, Afghan firefighters hosed down the bloody streets of Kabul. 13 Nepalese Gurkhas and 2 Indian workers, all contracted to guard the Canadian embassy, were dead. The work of an ISIS splinter group. The legacy for the survivors has not been washed away. Man Bahadur Thapa lives with chunks of the bomb and the bus embedded in his skin. His eyes, hands and kidneys all bear the scars of that day. Prem Badur Chetri is alive only because his lunch fell off his lap. He bent over just as the suicide bomber threw himself against the bus. This is the first time the survivors and widows have spoken publicly. In their lawsuit, the Gurkhas, highly trained former soldiers, claim Canada was negligent and failed to supervise their employer, Sabre International Security, and that the attack was foreseeable. They say they feel forgotten. Ottawa's position has been the Gurkhas did not work directly for the embassy, and their safety was the responsibility of Sabre. We asked Global Affairs for a response to the lawsuit. They've said nothing. That's cold comfort to Chitra Kumari Koriala, whose husband died in the attack. After the Kabul bombing, Sabre bailed on its contract and left Canada scrambling. CBC News was unable to contact Sabre for comment. Even the lawyers for the families are struggling to find Sabre to serve papers.
They appear to have disappeared. So there's some very serious questions about Canada's selection of this contractor.
This is not the first time Canada has been criticized over private security contractors. There was concern during the Afghan war, and that led Ottawa to sign an international agreement known as the Montreux Document. That pledged Canada would hire only certified professional companies. It's unclear whether Sabre met that criteria. Murray Brewster, CBC News, Ottawa.
Gurkhas have also had to fight for the rights they hold today in the UK, nearly 2 centuries after they were first recruited by the British Army. As Britain expanded its colonial reach, agreements with Nepal and India allowed Gurkhas to fight all over the world for the Commonwealth for much of the 19th and 20th centuries. But historically, the soldiers were discharged back to Nepal. Only after an organized campaign that lasted more than a decade did some of them finally earn the same pension as the British veterans they had served alongside, as well as the right to settle in the UK.